This is terrifying. Welcome back to another episode where I'll be reading from a subreddit. Where else? Am I the asshole? So let's jump into it. My father had knee surgery and was in the hospital overnight. So my mother went to stay with him because she was worried about him coming home alone on the bus since he would have to use his knee to get up and down the bus steps, and our house has a lot of stairs. My sister, who has autism, was already home and in bed sleeping in her room on the main floor, and I was in the basement playing video games. It was an old house, so if you were downstairs, you could hear every movement above you. I could usually tell who was walking through the house by the weight of the creaks. We rented the house and were never given the key to the front door's deadbolt, so we only locked it at night when everyone was inside for the night. At around 4 a.m., I heard heavy footsteps coming from the front door. The deadbolt was locked, so someone was trying to force it open. Then I heard the sound of someone walking slowly down the hallway towards my sister's room, then just stop. I thought maybe my father had returned early, but that made no sense because he was supposed to be in the hospital overnight and the bus didn't run this late. Also, he wouldn't be walking since he had surgery on his knee. I walked up the stairs to check and the deadbolt was still locked, so he wasn't home yet. And my sister's door was slightly cracked open, so I opened it and she was still sleeping and everything was fine. Her door must not have been fully closed last night, I thought. So I checked the rest of the house and found nothing or no one, and went back downstairs to finish my game. My sister never woke up, saw, or heard anything, nor did she remember leaving her door unlocked the night before. She said she slept all night, and my father never left the hospital and didn't come home until 7 a.m. Still drives me nuts 30 years later. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the comments and see what people had to say about this one. This happened to me once. When I was in the army, I was in basic training. We were in the barracks and I was awoken at 3 a.m. by footsteps in the hallway. I got up and started watching the door to make sure no one was going to walk in while I was gone. The door across the hall was slightly open, so I looked through the crack and saw nothing. Went back to bed. In the morning, the guy in the next bunk over told me that his door was ajar and he was pretty sure he'd heard some shuffling noises in the middle of the night. That's actually very similar to this story. The commenter is saying, "Okay, yeah, OP, I totally believe you because this happened to me once." Very weird. This person responded to a few different comments, so I'm going to read them all here. The original poster responded to a comment that said, "Could it have been your dog, if you have one?" And OP said, "We didn't have a dog." They also responded to a comment that said, "Could it have been your dad?" And they said, "No, he was in the hospital having surgery overnight. And I know he wasn't there because my mom stayed with him and she'd have heard him come in. Also, he couldn't put any weight on his knee, so he'd be limping badly and not walking normally like whoever was walking was." And then, finally, they responded to a comment that said, "What do you think it was?" And OP says, "Honestly, no idea. But it definitely wasn't my imagination because my sister never leaves her door unlocked. She couldn't have possibly imagined that either. And she was a child at the time. She would have remembered." All right, now I want to hear your thoughts on this case. What do you think happened here? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think OP is lying? Is it possible that their sister left her door unlocked? Or is there something more sinister going on here? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you want to hear more stories just like this one, then you're gonna want to subscribe because I put out new videos every single day. Also, if you enjoy these videos, then feel free to follow me on social media. I post pretty much daily, and it's a great way to interact with me directly. Also, if you enjoy these videos, then you'll love my podcast. I actually just started a podcast where I cover creepypastas and other scary things. If you want to listen to that, the link is in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.